We're going to start our discussion of systems of numeration by looking at some additive systems. Okay, a system of numeration is just a set of numbers and a rule for how you combine the numbers to make sense of what the symbol represents. For example, in our systems of numbers, when you see the numbers 1, 2, 3, we read it as 123, 100, 2 tens, 3 ones. And we're just going to look at other systems of numerations that there have been historically. And the first one we're going to look at is the Egyptian numerals. And the first example we have here is we want to write this Egyptian numeral, and pardon my drawing of these symbols. As you can see, I can't draw. And we want to take this Egyptian numeral and rewrite it as a Hindu-Arabic numeral, and the Hindu-Arabic numeral being what we know as what a number is. Like I said, the 123. Okay? And there's a little chart in your book that has what each symbol means. And what we want to do is go from Egyptian numerals to plain English numbers. And all these little guys have names. You don't have to memorize the names, and you don't have to memorize this table. This table will always be given to you. So you'll just have to know how to take these symbols and convert to a number. Okay, so the first thing I look here, and look at this number, I have 4 of this symbol, which is called a pointing finger. Okay, so I have 4 of those. Each one of those pointing fingers counts for 10,000. Okay, so 4 times 10,000 is 40,000. And the next symbol I see is a lotus flower. So I have 1 lotus flower, and each lotus flower is 1,000. So that's 1,000. The next thing I see is 2 scrolls. Each scroll is worth 100. So that's 200. And finally, I see 1 heel bone, and a heel bone is worth 10. Okay, so now I add all these up. Can do that one in my head. 41,210. So this Egyptian numeral represents 41,210. Alright, so now we want to go backwards. We want to write this numeral, 1,812, as an Egyptian numeral. So we want to convert it into symbols. Okay? Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to break this number down into its parts. So 1,000, right? 1,000, 8 hundredths, 1 10, and then 2 ones. Right? 1,812. Okay? So I just broke it down into its individual pieces. Okay? Now, 1,000 is represented by a lotus flower. Okay, so I'm going to need 1 lotus flower in my problem. Okay, and I'll put him down here because that way I don't have to draw these guys twice. And as you can see, can't draw. 8 hundredths. Okay, well, 100 is represented by a scroll. I need 8 of them. These aren't too bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I need 1 10. The 10 is represented by a heel bone. I only need 1. And then I need 2 ones, and the 1 is represented by something that looks like a 1, which is called a staff, and I need 2 of those. So here we went from Hindu-Arabic, 1,812, to what it would look like as an Egyptian numeral. Alright, so the next additive system that we're going to be looking at is going to be the Roman numerals. And we certainly see Roman numerals whenever we watch a movie. The date is usually written as a Roman numeral. Notice that Roman numerals are always capitalized. So if you're doing your homework or taking the test and you enter in your answer in lowercase, the computer's going to mark it wrong because technically Roman numerals should be in uppercase. Okay? Alright, so then let's start by looking at these. And there's a definite order to how Roman numerals are written. Notice that M is the largest, which is 1,000. D is 500. C is 100. L is 50. X 10. V is 5. And the 1 is a 1. Okay? Whenever we write Roman numerals, we write it from largest to smallest. Okay? So notice here we have M, which is 1,000. But then we're followed by a C, but then it reverses back to M. Well, when you have that happen in Roman numerals where it reverses direction, okay, that means these two go together, okay, because they're not in order. You always go from largest to smallest, so if I should always be traveling this way in my chart. So if I travel this way, that means those two must be together. Okay, so M, C, M, that means that's together. L, X, okay, so far I'm traveling backwards. But then look at the last one. IV, that's in the reverse order, which means these two need to be together, okay? They mean subtraction, okay? All right, so for example, when you see CM, okay, that's telling you to subtract, okay? So M is 1,000, and we're going to subtract what C is, which is 100. So CM represents 900, okay? As an additional example, okay, let's do IV. Okay, notice that they're in forward order here. So V is 5. The I is 1. 5 minus 1 is 4. Okay? Alright, so we have M, CM, L, X, and we have IV. Okay? Well, M is 1,000. CM we just figured out is 900. L is 50, X is 10, and IV is 4. And if we add that all together, we get 1964. Okay. All right, so again, with Roman numerals, the letter should always occur from highest to lowest. If one of these is reversed, for example, we went from M to C and went back to M, that means these two must be paired together. Okay, we should always travel backwards. Okay, and when you see them like this, that means you subtract the values from each other. Okay, so again, we're going to go backwards here with Roman numerals. I want to start out with 2011. And I want to write 2011 as a Roman numeral. Okay? Alright, well, let's break this up. We have 2000. Okay? 11, which is a 10 and a 1. Okay? So again, I broke it up to its parts. 2000 is 2 times 1000. Okay? Well, 1000 is represented by M. I have 2 of them, so I need 2 M's. 10 is represented by an X, and a 1 is represented by an I. So in Roman numerals, 2011 is represented as MM.